Hello, everybody, and welcome to Crunch Sports. I'm Ashwin Kumar, and today we're going to do a different activity. Of course, you guys know I'm a Manchester United fan, so we will be looking at the dream signings which Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can get this summer. And realistic signing, I'm not going to get into Haaland or Harry Kane, even though I'd love United if they signed them, but that looks highly unlikely. So I'm going to sign three players. Well, out of those three players, we've already signed Jadon Sancho. He will get unveiled today. Maybe by the time you're watching this video, he might have got unveiled as well. And I'm expecting him to get the number 7 shirt. And Cavani maybe might get moved on to the number 9. And Anthony Martial will have to change his number, but I'm expecting Jadon Sancho to get the number 7 shirt. And yeah, let's have a look at this. I've got Rafael Varane. That deal is looking very close as well. Of course, Real Madrid are having financial issues with their wages as well, so they might be having to sell these players. Even they might not want. They want to keep Varane, but the latest reports are that Varane to United is very close, and I personally think this deal will go through, and maybe it might get over the line before the end of this month as well. So I've gone with three signings, as you can see in that screen. Jadon Sancho will take the right wing. I've got Rafael Varane as my centre back alongside Harry Maguire. And then the most important position which we're going to discuss about today is the CDM position. We've got Camavinga there. And look, what do I think personally? It's going to be a hard deal to do. I'm not sure if we will be able to sign Camavinga, to be honest. But look, we definitely let me show you guys. We definitely need to move. We definitely need to get a CDM, is what I want to say. So that yes, it's the tactical pad which you can see behind me. So we're going to be working on that. Move the players' positions, and you guys can let me know if you think Camavinga will be signed by Manchester United this summer. Well, of course, PSG are very much interested in signing him, and there is a thing going on that PSG, if they don't get Pogba, then they'll go for Camavinga. So in my midfield, I've got Camavinga, Pogba, and Bruno Fernandes. Well, it's not very likely that we'll get to see this midfield next season because PSG are interested in Camavinga and Pogba. If they don't get Paul Pogba, then they'll go for Camavinga. And if they get Pogba, then I think United have a chance to get Camavinga. But well, we'll see. But I think this deal should be done, completed, regardless of Paul Pogba. Fabrizio Romano said that. Before that, this Camavinga deal has nothing to do with the Pogba deal, and that would be the perfect signing for us because we definitely need a CDM. I cannot afford to watch Manchester another season of McTominay and McFred in that midfield pivot, because then you look at that team. I want us to. It's Solskjaer's third season. I want us to challenge for the title. We've got a world class. We've got a top class defense there. I've got David De Gea in goal. I personally would keep De Gea and sell Dean Henderson, but it actually doesn't matter. You guys, if you want Dean Henderson, just I don't have a Dean Henderson token there, so you guys can think that's Henderson. It's got nothing to do with the keeper position there. Wan-Bissaka right back. Harry Maguire had a fantastic Euros. He was in the team of the tournament. So Maguire and Rafael Varane, I think, will be fantastic. And then Luke Shaw, best left back in the world for me. So that's a very solid defense right there. And then the front four, if you can say, I've got Cavani there up front. You've got Marcus Rashford left wing, Bruno Fernandes, and then Jadon Sancho taking that right wing. Rashford will go for his surgery just before the start of the season. I think at this end of the month, he will go for his surgery. I think it's a shoulder injury, so he's going to miss out the first 2 months of the Premier League starting. So we're not going to see this lineup in the beginning because Rashford is going to be injured that time. He's going to be recovering. So it's easy. It's not big deal that Rashford is missing out because now that we have signed Jadon Sancho, it's not going to be a big deal because let me remove Marcus Rashford from there. Even if Rashford is going off, where's he? Where's Rashford? Yeah, I'm removing Marcus Rashford there. You can do two things. You can either put Jadon Sancho on the left wing and maybe play Mason Greenwood on the right. Let me grab Greenwood. Where's Mason? Right. You have Mason Greenwood here. You can play this front four of Cavani up front, Jadon Sancho on the left because he does play on the left wing as well. So he's a proper winger. You can play him on the right and the left. So that's not an issue. And then you can play Mason Greenwood in the right wing, the position we have been developing him over the last 1.5 seasons. So Greenwood can take that position. Or you've got Anthony Martial as well. So let me move Mason Greenwood out here. Where's Anthony Martial? Where's Martial? Oh, right, he is here. So you can do that as well. Put Martial on the left wing. Where's Sancho? You can bring Jadon Sancho across here to the right wing, and that's gonna be a fluid front three as well. You can have Martial on the left wing, Jadon Sancho on the right, Cavani up front. If Cavani needs a rest, you can play Greenwood up front and Martial up front. So we've got enough depth. So missing out on Marcus Rashford for the first 2 months, I don't think is going to be a massive blow to United, and it's a good thing. We have seen that coming. I want Marcus Rashford to be 100% fit when he comes back. I don't want another full season of a 60% Marcus Rashford. I want 100% Marcus Rashford, be it if he's missing the first 2 or 3 months. So let's deal with that. And the position I want us to talk about. Well, let me show you the midfield. I'm going to remove Camavinga out there because we haven't signed him, of course. I think the Rafael Varane deal, and we have signed Sancho. So the Varane deal, I think, will go through. And then you've got McFred again. Where's, yeah, you've got McTominay and Fred over there. So that becomes a midfield of the same thing. You'll have to move Paul Pogba off there because this becomes another thing. You've got McTominay and Fred, and then you've got Bruno Fernandes. And now when you look at that team, well, is it ready, that team? Do you think that's ready to compete for the title? Well, not for me. I'm going to move McTominay a little front here. And then you can move Fred as well. You move Fred here, and then that becomes the midfield which we have been playing for the last season. Yes, we did finish second in the league, but I'm not at all convinced with that midfield. I want us to play Paul Pogba in the midfield, and we definitely need a central defensive midfielder. Like I said, it's hard to get the Camavinga deal, but you've got options. You've got maybe Ruben Neves from Wolves. I have no idea why Manchester United aren't looking for Locatelli. Yes, he wants to go to Juventus, but Arsenal are pushing for him. I don't think he will end up at Arsenal, but he's a defensive midfielder, and I think he would do a great job in that midfield. You can have a midfield of Locatelli, Paul Pogba, and Fernandes, or Locatelli, Van de Beek, and Fernandes. Let's not sleep on Donny Van de Beek. Yes, he had a very bad season because he wasn't used. But in the games in which Van de Beek played, he started the last game of the Premier League and he was man of the match. So I would definitely not sleep on Van de Beek, and I would be disgusted if Manchester United sell him, which I don't think they will do here this season. So we definitely need a CDM because I don't want us to see McTominay and Fred again because they're just not good enough. You look at their team, you've got a solid back four, you've got a solid front four. But that midfield pivot of McTominay and Fred I don't think it's good enough. Yes, we did finish second, but I don't think it's good enough for us to challenge for the title. Because Man City, it looks like they're going to sign Grealish and Harry Kane, maybe at least one of them. So they're already ahead of us and they're going to go even more further. And Liverpool will be back. We keep forgetting about Liverpool. Van Dijk is back in training. So Liverpool will be back. And then you've got Chelsea. They are the Champions League winners. They're looking to sign Haaland, really. And they will strengthen their squad as well. So we definitely need a CDM. Yes, Varane will be a fantastic signing, and if we get that deal over the line, I would stand up and applaud the board because I didn't think that our board is competent enough to go and sign Rafael Varane and Jadon Sancho, those two, because you know that in Manchester United's transfer window, we usually sign the third or the fourth choice of the players which we want. But here you've got Sancho and you've got Varane. They are first choice players. And if you add a CDM there, I think this team has to challenge for the title. And if we don't do well, I want Solskjaer to do well. I'm only in. But if Solskjaer doesn't deliver, then sack him. That's exactly what I want from the board. I want them to send a manager into the season which is ready to fight for the title. if you don't get Sancho, I mean, we got Sancho, but if you don't get Varane, maybe you get Pau Torres, and if you don't get a CDM and you go with McTominay and Fred, that's not the summer we wanted. Yes, we got Sancho, but Pau Torres isn't going to make us the title challenging team. So that's why we need to get the first choice, and that's exactly what I want. Back the manager, get him the players you want, or get the players the manager wants, and then see if he doesn't deliver, you sack him. Then there won't be any excuses for Solskjaer that he hasn't got the players, and that's exactly what I want from the board. I think we'll get the Varane deal done in the next 2 weeks, and then you've got Sancho in that team. And where's Camavinga? Let me get Camavinga back into the team because I want to show what this team can do with a proper CDM. You remove Fred and McTominay from there, and then you've got Camavinga who comes in that midfield, or maybe a Locatelli or a Ruben Neves, someone proper CDM. I want us to sign a proper CDM who can do control that midfield on his own. And look, we have seen that in the past under Solskjaer, the two best phases of the Solskjaer era, if we can say, was the first 3 months when he was the interim manager. What is the midfield he played? He played Matic, who was the holding CDM, and then you've got Herrera, who was doing the box-to-box role, and then you had Pogba playing the cam, or the number 10, which you can call, and that was when Manchester United were proper team. And then the second phase, which was right after the first lockdown, when the Premier League had started, that time we had played Matic, Paul Pogba, and Bruno Fernandes, and that was the second phase in which Manchester United were proper. I think we were fourth or fifth, very far from top four, and then we went on to finish third in that season. So I think that's the way Solskjaer wants us to play. So a CDM is an absolute must for us. And if we sign a CDM, I think we can go and challenge for the title. And then we can see if Solskjaer is good enough or not. That's a debate for the future. So you put Paul Pogba there, you've got Camavinga there, and then you've got Bruno Fernandes doing what he does. So you've got Paul Pogba, you've got Bruno Fernandes, and then you've got Camavinga in the midfield. And look, Camavinga is still young. He might not be a proper CDM as of now, but he can be molded into one. Camavinga for Rennes, he does this box-to-box role, but you can definitely mold him into this role, shielding the back four. All he has to do is, it gives Paul Pogba the license. When Camavinga sits there, Paul Pogba can move up front. No, that's not Pogba. Well, Paul Pogba can move up front over here. He can play this channel, and then you've got Bruno Fernandes, Martial, Rashford, whoever you're playing with the front four. And then Camavinga, all he has to do is get the ball from the back four, from Maguire, from Varane, from the keeper, get the ball from the back and play it forward. Play it forward. Give the ball to give the ball to Fernandes, not to McTominay. Give the ball to Fernandes. Give the ball to Pogba, Rashford, Sancho. We've got creators in our team if we can go and sign a CDM. Because if you play McTominay and Fred, there's no creativity in that pivot. But if you play a pivot of if you play a pivot of Camavinga and Pogba, or Camavinga and Van de Beek, that's creativity. And even if you sell Paul Pogba, there are rumors, like I said, that Pogba might be off. Where's Van de Beek? Where's Donny? Well, I cannot find. Okay, right, he is here. Then you've got Camavinga there, and then you've got Donny Van de Beek, who can play in that position of Paul Pogba, get the ball from Camavinga, and he can be the other creator. You've got Sancho, who's a proper out-and-out winger, and he will create chances as well. So playing or signing a CDM is very important. Why? Because when you play McTominay and Fred, the opposition know that there's no creativity coming from there, and they are the weak point in that team. If you look at the team, and if you put McFred in that pivot, that's the weakness in that team, and the opposition will target, and they're not good enough to break teams down. Whether you're playing Brentford or Fulham, you don't McTominay and Fred are not good enough to break those teams, and that's what we saw last season, that we struggled to break teams down. But when you sign a proper CDM, whether it's Camavinga or whether it's Locatelli, Ruben Neves, then they're going to sit in that midfield. You're going to have them sit over here. They're going to move the channels. They're going to cover the back five, the back four. And then you're going to move, pass the ball around here, pass the ball up front. You don't need Camavinga to go darting forward. And then you get the Van de Beek and Paul Pogba get the license. to run down the channels, and that's where Paul Pogba and Van der Beek shine. You need to fit Paul Pogba in that midfield. You cannot play Paul Pogba in the left wing anymore, because now you've got Martial who can play on the wing, you've got Greenwood who can play on the right wing, you've got Sancho who can play on the left and the right, and then you've got Amad Diallo and Dan James. And there are rumors. Why would people want us to keep Jesse Lingard? Where do you think Lingard will fit into that team? Like, where's his play? And then you've got Juan Mata, who has signed a contract. You've got Matic. How do you fit Jesse Lingard in that team? I think Declan Rice. How did I forget about Rice? Camavinga, Declan Rice, Ruben Neves, or Locatelli. One of those four, and I will be happy that we have signed a midfielder, a defensive midfielder. And then you've got Van der Beek. If you've got a CDM over here, what's Van der Beek's best position? You look at what he did for Ajax. Yes, he can play as an attacking midfielder, but the biggest trait for Van der Beek is him arriving late at the box. He arrives late at the box and then scores. Most of his goals are, even the goal I think against Crystal Palace, he arrived late into the box and then he scored his first United goal. And that's the role you want Van der Beek. Even if you sell Paul Pogba, that's a good midfield. You've got Camavinga, you've got Van der Beek, and you've got Bruno Fernandes. That's a good midfield. So that position of the CDM is an absolute must in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And thanks for watching. Drop a like on the video, subscribe, and I'll meet you on the next one.